Good morning, Mandy.
Hello.
How are you, girl?
I'm good.
Good. You rocked out your month last month. Congrats.
It was just kind of like everybody bought all at once, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's awesome. That is the power of consistency. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so when will that, I checked my coach office this morning, and obviously it switches over this morning. So when will it show, that I hit last month? Because it's just saying, I don't have any consecutive months, which I know I've done two in a row.
You had how many people buy yesterday? Two?
Two.
Okay. So you'll
two yesterday and one the day before.
Okay. It takes 2 to 3 days for them to show up. So you're probably going to see it in a couple of days, in your previous month earned. You'll never see it on your screen that says July Success Club hit, but it will be when you go back to see consecutive months hit. So it just takes a couple of days to check it out, and then you'll be able to see it. Yeah, for sure. I want to say, Mike has told me it can take up to 3 days, but it'll come in for your income, and then it will come in for your Success Club or your consecutive months. And yeah, cool. And that was that your best month?
Yeah, the first month I had 8. So
awesome.
Probably.
That's awesome. So yeah, your goal should be this month at least 12. And then we want to have so many coaches on as a goal, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then I was going to say one more thing. So you want to have your SC, your coaches, and then, oh shoot, I was going to say one more thing. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Hopefully it'll come to my head.
It might.
But that's awesome. I'm super excited for you. I think that's awesome. So
yeah, it'll be fun. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. So that's great. Okay, and then we're going to have we'll rename that group, that same group, we'll rename it for the fall. So we'll start thinking about what we're going to name it.
Awesome.
And we'll get it that way. So that's your Beat Your Best. That is amazing. I'm super excited. So you'll get your medal, and then you'll get, I think, a coach hat or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So sweet. Okay. So we have a new month. We have new goals. So I would just make sure your goals are written down so that you have them to look at every day. And then you want to reverse engineer. So if on average, they say for every 10 people you talk to, 3 might check it out. 1 is going to purchase. So if you need 6 people minimum, it means you need to be inviting 60 people this month, which if you are following the monthly business tracker on Micah, you've got 25 that we invite minimum each week. So you should be able to hit that no problem. But we just have to be consistent with our inviting. So whether you do 25 in a day or you do 5 daily or however you do it, whatever is easiest for you, do what's best for you. So, okay. Cool. All right. So I think Sheena says she's hopping on here. And let's see where we're at. I made a little cheat sheet. And where did I put that? Somewhere here. Oh, here. Right in front of my face. Okay. So let's work on expanding. So reach out to, we're going to do 15 minutes of expanding, and I'll set the timer. So let's do, try to find some bigger accounts, look at your bigger hashtags, try to find some people within that, so that you can kind of dig in down and find people that are your niche, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Sheena.
Hey.
How are you, girl?
Good. Let's see.
You have to turn your video on. There you go. Oh, look at that beautiful girl. Oh, we got all the kiddos. Oh my gosh. Amazing. Oh, you guys.
We'll see how much work I can get done.
Mine are still in bed for the moment, hopefully.
Oh man.
Mine are too. So I have to force them to get up. So
Yeah,
No.
I've
Yes.
had to do fasting labs, and so I woke them up to get over to the lab place at like 8, so then I could eat. 'Cause I was hungry.
mhm. Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay.
All right.
Hi, baby girl. Okay. So Sheena, we were talking in the beginning, and I'll just recap really quickly. We just have a new month, so we want to hit new goals. So definitely want to work on beating your best. So what was your best month you've ever had for SC?
Oh, probably like one person.
Okay, that's okay. So I would say let's make sure your goal is SC6.
Uh-huh.
So, and really to hit some of your goals that we wanted to hit for November, we really want to shoot for SC10. And I know I was going to tell you, Mandy, SC10 is where the gold happens because that's where you get a lot of that Shakeology leads that come in your direction. So I got some people that bought, got someone that purchased a Ultimate Reset Pack, which came back to me as a retail of 50. So a lot of those leads and team volume is awesome. So, minimum SC10 is where we should try to be. So,
Yeah, at first I was gonna tell my mother-in-law just by tomorrow, because then I'm like, okay, that will give me 2 points for August, and I really want to hit SC5, but I'm like, no, I want those leads. I want
yes.
that paid, because I've actually
Absolutely.
seen a lot of leads from BOD, but I'm like, that would be even better if they were
Yeah.
Shakeology leads.
And
So,
then what I would do for all those leads that you get for BOD, send them an email that kind of talks to you about who you are, talks a little bit about Shakeology. And I actually thought about this last night after I went to bed because I sent off 3 new email leads last night. I was like, I need to tweak it a little bit to kind of share the bigger bang for your buck if you add your Shakeology in for those who buy the annual BOD, because you're saving a ton of money if you combine those together and try it, and then 100% money back guaranteed if you don't like it. That's huge.
right.
So and Carl always talks about, share that with people. Don't be afraid to. I think I was afraid to share that for so long because I didn't want people to return it and get negative SC points on it or take back commission. But I think that if people realize that it's money back guarantee and you support it 100% and you're going to love it and you're going to find a recipe that works for them, that makes them like, oh, well, it's not, it's totally worth trying. And I think in my whole couple years I've been doing it, there's only been a couple people that haven't liked, I got some in my eye, that haven't liked it. And it's been more like, one was, I just need to change my flavor. And another one was like, I totally did not like it. So that's totally fine too. So I would add that. And so if you want a copy of that email, I can send that out to you, Mandy. I can put it in.
Well, I kind of started, I think somebody sent me something, and I've emailed all of them.
Perfect.
And only one has ever got back to me.
They don't get back very quickly or at all, but I think it's good to just, reach out to them and touch base because you just never know. Okay. So Sheena, we're going to start with expanding. So I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to do, because we're kind of, my Zoom isn't as long and I didn't get a chance to set it up under Amanda's, and I have to leave for a meeting at like 8:30 my time. So let's do 10 minutes to expand. And I'm going to set a timer.
Okay.
All right.
Or Lauren, if you find somebody that doesn't have, you don't have to request, do you message them right then or wait till they follow you back?
I typically wait till they follow me back because that way I can message something a little bit more tailored to them. So a couple times throughout the day, I'll check my feed if I have a few minutes to see if any new followers popped in, and then I'll go in that way.
Okay.
But I don't do that probably as good as I need to, but I'll look at that at least at the end of the day.
Do you try to stick to one influencer a day, or do you spread out?
Sometimes I jump around a lot. So I started with Target Style and then looked for people under there. And then I found like a ton of bloggers and people. So then I dug into one of those that looked like they were like a mom blogger. And then I just keep sometimes digging myself into a rabbit hole and finding people that are more me. So sometimes I can find them in a level down, and then sometimes I have to dig another level down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and then you might find that you don't have any good potential, like this isn't a good area, right? So sometimes I'll back up and try to find, again, start higher and start to dig down lower. And then, of course, if you find somebody, make sure that if they're open, like 5 pics, comment, save them to your collections, right? So that you can go back and add them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can connect with them later. When you do your connections, then you can go into your collections by letter. So
But
when
if they're just like somebody that's not private.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you don't have to request them, if you request them, request, move on. Request, move on. If they're people that are your people or that look like they're people and their page is open, like 5, comment on 3, and then follow, follow them, comment on 3, like 5, and then add them to your collection.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions about connecting? I had to cut that a little bit short. And I found myself in an area that was like, I had to back out, back out, back out. So I'll add some more today, but I added about 8. How'd you guys do?
Okay, I'm muted. I requested a lot. I didn't find a whole lot that were open. So if you follow them and they're not private, but they're not really like their pictures don't really show your kind of thing. You still just leave them in your, do you still follow them? Or do you just
I don't. I pull back out because you want to, when you give, when you connect and you give drops of love to people throughout the day, your Instagram feed should be your interest list. That should be your people that you want to give love to because you're following them, right? Okay. So you don't want to, I've requested people and then I'll come on and they'll be like, giving me pictures of their boobs and, just pushed up. I'm like, unfollow. Or sometimes I'll find people and then I find that they speak another language, I unfollow them. So, okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. Then let's do, let's connect. So let's spend 10 minutes connecting. Actually, let's spend 15 minutes connecting because that's going to be huge.
And that's just with people that you're already.
Yep. So you can go through your collections. You can, and if you need to start on letters. So like this end of the month, even though we talked about collections and connecting, I was really just trying to hit SC. So that was my goal as of yesterday, which I hit, which was great. So I'm going to start with my A's today and just pick. I don't have a ton of people in my collections. I need to start adding more because I forgot and I just haven't been doing that very well. So as I'm going to start adding them, I might whip through a few more letters. So just keep working through your alphabet and then mark on your tracker where you stopped so that when you do it later or you do it tomorrow, you can pick up on that letter. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get my timer going. 15 minutes. Okay.
There you go. Look at that book.
That's cute. That's cute. Let's get one more puppy that always dies. Let's find the puppies. Yeah, before. When we die with the puppies,
Really?
we got him. Oh, let's get it. Let's get it. A kitty trapped in a wall.
Yeah, funny, huh?
Funny. Oh, the cat was trapped in a wall by itself.
Mm-hmm.
They were crawling out. Mama, my thirsty. I'm freaking starving. Oh.
Was that the one we played on the other day?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, someone else is playing on it.
The crap out of me. I almost stepped on it when I was getting in my car. I'm not sure what's wrong with him, but I think he's hurt. Maybe my cat got a hold of him. So. Good morning. Oh yeah, get into the bottom of this container. I might as well just dump all that in there. I'm getting a little bit later start. We were up so late last night at that movie, but it was so fun, so worth it. And I'm really realizing
Mom. Mom.
Oh, honey.
I want to. I want to eat breakfast.
this is a
You really want to what?
Go eat breakfast. I'm going to eat breakfast.
Okay. Just 1 minute, okay?
See?
Don't touch the buttons.
Okay, that was 15, and we got 7 minutes left on the call. So I know connecting can take some time. It takes a while to kind of get it in a flow, and some people can connect in like no time at all. It takes me a little bit of time. So, but I think if we have our collections set up appropriately, or, you know, in the right method, and then, you know, our feed is the right way, then you have 3 different ways you can connect. You can connect on your stories, you can connect on your feed, and then you can connect on your collections. So you should be able to whip through, you know, some stuff. And that's a great way to do Power Pocket. So if you're like, okay, I only have 10 minutes to connect, maybe right now I'll whip through the stories and see what I have. And, you know, later I've got 10 minutes, I'm waiting, you know, in the car, I can do my feed, or, you know, I'll go through B's or C's or whatever. So that's a great way.
Then do you write those down when you are connecting with people? Do you take notes of those?
I actually don't. So keep them in your collections, because then you're just going to keep, giving them love and giving them support and giving them feed. And then what you want to do is, if you find something that you connect to, like personally, I always send a message like, oh my gosh, I loved that dress. Where did you get it? Or that recipe looks so yummy. What can you share with me the recipe? Because then you can start a conversation that way. And then those in Instagram, I don't think, Sheena, you have the star. I star it. If it looks like someone that I can really connect with or feel they're going to be a great potential coach or a great potential challenger, I'll star them. So that might be ones you want to write down if you don't have that star option. And then the only way I write them down is for my invites. So as long as you have them going in your collections, I feel like that's as good as writing them down, because you are you are intentionally following and connecting with those people. I think it's much easier. I feel like I spend a lot of time, or have in the past, writing connections down and stuff like that, and who I send messages to. I only write them down if it looks like it's going to be, a solid person, or like someone on my dream team, or someone that I think is going to really fit my fit tribe, things like that.
So can I ask, like, I guess on the, I feel like in the beginning, like there was a lot of like, okay, write it down, like connect with them a few times and then invite them on this type of page. Did you do that in the beginning and now you're just good at it enough, or did you never write down?
No. So I used to, when I did it, I have this big old binder, but I did, and I like, it was this old form, and I'm sure I can find it, but it literally every day of the week, this took me Monday through Sunday or Saturday, and it was like 5 new follows, 5 invites, 10 comments on current target. Like that's how I did it. And so then you could see, like, I highlighted people that like responded. Like this is so old. Like this is how I did it every day before we had that connection sheet in the group. And so I was trying to do that for everyone. And what I found was that when I ended up going to STEM social, it was just too much. Like my Instagram grew so fast, and you're constantly trying to work your hashtags and stuff to try to find your niche. So it just got to be too much. So when that star option came up, I started going for the star. And then as Micah has reformed her power hours, and I've listened to those I think are really good, because I don't feel like I need, as long as you're feeding those people into your collections and you're feeding the right people on your feed, you don't have to write them down only until you do your invites. So then you can learn to follow up on them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like I do waste so much time writing stuff down, or it's like, oh, I'm in the car, I can't do anything because I don't have a piece of paper to write down, and how am I going to remember how many I did? And I honestly, all these, like, I have all these things like connections, or then I'm like, oh, I just connected with this girl Jody, like let me spend a minute trying to find her name so I can check it off. Like I just waste so much time searching the pages for somebody's name, where maybe I should just stop that, because it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. And I know for you, like, time is of the essence. So I would if I were you, like, a couple things I would do in blocks of 5. So like, that way you can say, like, at the end of the day, okay, I did it in the morning when I was waiting for pickup from swim lessons, and then 5 minutes when I was taking to whatever. Then you say, okay, I connected with 10 people today, and then you can kind of do it that way, and then just add them into your collections. And I think that will be a good start.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you
5 and 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there a way to organize the collections by like alphabetical order, or is it just however you made them?
So I was actually going to look at that today, because I hate scrolling to figure out where my letter is down below. So let me look at that and see if there's a way that we can go back in and move them around.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me play with it. I'll look at that today for sure. Okay, we have less than a minute. Any other questions? Okay.
No,
So did you have one, Mandy? I'm sorry.
no.
Okay, cool. So those are items you can mark off, and then just make sure, you know, you get your happy birthday messages in. Those are easy ones to do on Facebook. I do the same thing with Facebook. I don't typically add to that every day, but sometimes if I find a new person, I kind of rabbit hole through them. Or if I find someone who I've connected with in the past, sometimes I'll rabbit hole through them. And even if I add 5 or 6, you know, just click, 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 and then add them to an interest group. My main focus is Instagram. So, but I do like to do happy birthday messages on Facebook because that will bring more people up to see your posts. So you want to keep those up too.
So when you happy birthday them, then they start seeing your stuff. Is that why you're? Okay.
Yeah, I like to connect on Facebook a couple times a week because that keeps, you know, when you add to other people's posts and you comment on them and you send them love, your stuff's going to start to show up on their feed more. So it's important. If you don't ever connect on Facebook, your stuff's going to get buried. Their algorithm's terrible. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You guys are so welcome. You have an awesome day. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.